Elites, what's up? It's the Elite Ace. You already know what it is. We live action. Happy Memorial Day to everybody, and I hope you're enjoying it as well as I'm enjoying mine. But let's not forget about men and women who gave up their lives and who are supporting this country for the rights and the freedom that we take advantage for every day. I'd like to put that out. But this is technically, to my knowledge, my first real impressions video. Now, I've gotten a lot of inbox messages and personal messages and comments asking me what I think about the game and, you know, what are my complete whole thoughts on it and could you make an impressions video about it. So here it is. This is the Elite Aces impression video on Dragon's Dogma. Now I'm about to get into this. First off, of course, as you know, it's made by Capcom and it is directed by the same man who's done Devil May Cry 4 and 3. And I love those Devil May Cries. His team also worked on Resident Evil 6, you know, and 5, etc., etc. Okay, going into Dragon's Dogma. Obviously, this is not the first open world medieval title that you've played. It's not the first one I've played. So going into this, first I'm going to talk about visuals. Do not go into this game with Mass Effect 3 or Skyrim type of visuals. Do not go into it because the graphics on here are good, but they're not good like Skyrim or Mass Effect 3. And that's cool. I'm not a graphics whore. You know, even when I first seen the screenshots, I can tell it wasn't as good as Skyrim or Mass Effect 3. But like I said, that's cool. But the good things about these graphics, I'm going to tell you the things I've noticed. Of course, there are a good level of detail in the animations. Like during gameplay, enemies move fluently. The character models during combat, you know, outside of town, they move very fluently. Like they're not stiff or robotic. They don't move cheesy. The running animations is cool. The environmental details. Excuse me for that noise, but the environmental details, like the blades of grass, you can see the individual blades of grass moving. The leaves falling from the trees. The actual night, you know, the actual day to night system, you will really see the different type of graphics within day and night. And I know that's like a obvious kind of thing, but you will really see it because there are things that point out, that stand out a lot more when nighttime falls opposed to in the daytime. There have been a few cases where the lips from the NPCs do not match with dialogue. Like it can't keep up with the dialogue. That's just a few times, and you see that in almost every game. So that's not a big, you know, I mean, that's not a plus either, but it's not a big, oh man, I'm gonna leave this on the shelf because their mouths don't match with the dialogue. However, there are cutscenes in this game. The cutscenes, the mouths move spot on. That I did notice, but in the game, it's a little off. You do see, you know, fish in the water. There is battle damage amongst the enemies. You do see that. Sparks do fly. You see dust rise up when you run or when you land. There is blood on there. Also, when you equip items, you do see it on the end. Like, of course, when you change armor, you see it. Obviously, when you change swords, you see it. Same thing with helmets, greaves, gauntlets, etc. You do see that. But I do like the graphics. It's a different kind of style of graphics. I've never seen a game with this style of graphics. I haven't. Now I'm gonna go into also, you know, gameplay. Now this company, you know, Capcom, the director stated that they were inspired off of Fable, Oblivion, Skyrim, you know, all those other open world RPGs. And with Skyrim and Oblivion, you can really tell that there was inspiration in this title. However, they said, who knows better about action than his team? You know, that's what the director was saying. His team, they worked on, you know, Resident Evil 5, 6, and the Devil May Cry. They know about action. Now, they really did have to think, like, okay, what is going to make this stand apart? Because there are a lot of titles out here that are open world set in the medieval times. So you got to think, what they have, you have to do something to amp it up. You can make your character on Skyrim, Oblivion, etc., etc. So they had to do something different. And they did create something different. Upon customizing your character, I'm gonna start from scratch, you know, with the gameplay. when you start out, of course, upon customizing your character, of course you can select male or female, select the height, you know, fat, skinny, all that kind of thing, hairstyle, scars, tattoos, ears, voices, eye color, skin color, hair color, beard, mustache, all that kind of things. And there with the women, breast size, everything. But when you create the height, or how wide they are, or the posture and the stance, it affects the gameplay. It does for the character. I thought that was cool. And you have these things called pawns. Pawns are like your party members. They are these creatures, these beings that come from another dimension. They have no free will or emotions. So you pretty much tell them what to do. Pretty much they're your bitch, pretty much. And you know, you customize them. Well, you customize your main one. You can get one main pawn and 2 support pawns. Now, at one point, my brother was saying, you're going to get 2, you're going to get 2. I have 3. Your main pawn and 2 support pawns. So, and I have another one from someone else. People can put their pawns on Xbox Live, and when you go through the rift, you get to download other people's pawns, and whatever experience they gain and items they get, it takes it back to them. There have been times I lent out my pawn and he came back to me like, Master, I brought this for you. And you know, items, extra gold, etc., all that kind of thing. So technically, so I have, it's me, my main pawn, 2 support pawns, and somebody else. So that's, you know, 5 total. And that makes a big difference when it's 5 of you. Now once you make your character and everything, you have the classes. Now you have the Strider class, which is like an assassin. He has the bow and arrow, 2 dual daggers. He cannot block, but he is very fast and agile. And in this game, you can jump on the giant enemies. When you hit the right trigger to grab, you get to grab regular enemies. Not all enemies. You can't just grab all enemies, but you can grab pretty much down there most enemies. You can grab them, but the big enemies, you can jump onto them and climb and hack away, hack away. The Strider, that takes up stamina. You have a life bar, and then you have a stamina meter. The Strider, his stamina meter depletes the least when he's climbing and slashing on the enemy because he's agile, quick, and nimble. They all have their advantages and disadvantages. Like the Strider is real quick, he's the bow and arrow and the dual daggers. I have the warrior class where he has the traditional sword and shield. You know, I have that class. Then you have the mage class, and then you have the, if I'm not mistaken, the archmage class. Yes, he specializes in archery, but it's with magic, you know, some Quincy stuff pretty much. And there are other classes to unlock because during the course of the game you fight bandits, and I've seen one bandit, he had some style where it was pretty much like Siegfried and Nightmare off of Soul Calibur. He had a big sword, 2-handed, swinging it real wild and crazy. So I thought that was cool. They had to add that in to make it different. Now let's talk about the enemies. The enemies you have, they range from a wide variety. You have the lizard men, you know, that's not their official name, but that's what I call them. You have the lizard men, they have spears. You will find them near the ocean sides or the beaches. I'm at level 39 now, and I've came across these lizards, the upgraded versions. They're yellow with black stripes and they're cloaked. I mean, just completely invisible. They're kind of transparent like how they are on Ghost Recon or the Predator movies, but they're, you know, they're like that. So you have the lizard man with the spears. You have the skeletons. Oh, you know what, let me break it down to this. Let me talk about the daytime enemies. You have the lizard men. You have the chimeras, you know, that the creature you fought on the demo, the lion with the goat head and the snake tail. You also have the bandits. And let's see, you have the harpies, those birds with the female faces, the female heads. You have the orcs. You have the goblins. You also have the wild cattle. There are deer. There are rabbits on there. What else? Of course, bandits. I think I said bandits already. As far as the water, there are no water enemies. You can't go off deep into the water because there's some mystic creature in there that will just instantly, you know, he would take a good amount of damage off of you when you go into the water. So there is no swimming on Dragon's Dogma. Now the nighttime enemies are a lot harder. When I first got this game on Tuesday, it was upside down. When I first got this game on Tuesday, I was out on the world map just exploring. Nighttime fell. and new enemies came about: skeletons, ghosts, dark mages. Yes, they were all around this fire like a cult. They killed me instantly. Just got jumped by dark mages, with zombies, all these kind of things. And I kept dying, and I kept dying, and I kept dying. So someone asked me on YouTube. They said, "Hey Ace, how is the game? Is it cool? Is it bad? I've heard this game is a bitch at night." And I laughed. I replied to him. I said, yes, whoever you heard it from, it was accurate. I don't know if you heard it from a preview of this game from Capcom, but he is very accurate. I'm warning you now, for those who do not have this title, when nighttime falls, you better make sure you are coming up to a town or a rest camp or something, because, or you better stay on the road, because if you stay on the road, it will, you will encounter the least amount of enemies. Stay on the road and follow it if you do not want to come into a lot of enemy contact. Also, in the daytime as well, the Griffin has showed up out of nowhere. The first time, he attacked me and some knights, and he flew away. The second time, which I was a lot stronger, I was whooping him and whooping him and whooping him. He went flying away. I went chasing him. I ran into a group of harpies, and he watched me fight them. As I went to go to the Griffin, he flew away. So now I'm starting to see how them anime characters be feeling. They fight somebody for the first time, get away. The second time, you get ready to beat them, they get away. So now this third time, when I see that damn Griffin, you take his ass down. But nighttime, at 39, the level I am, I can handle the nighttime enemies. The ghost, however, I cannot handle because I do not have magic. That's right. If you pick a warrior class, you cannot use magic. It's not like Skyrim or Oblivion where you just learn magic, period. If you're a warrior, your expertise is the warrior style. You can't do magic. You can get a tome, like, you know, the books or whatnot, but if you can learn magic as another class, I've yet to know how. So anyway, always keep that in mind. When it's out in daytime, you hear crickets chirping and it's getting darker, get somewhere safe. Also, the control. Let's talk about, you know, complete control. I like the control a whole lot better than Skyrim. And I'm not trying to do a whole comparison kind of video, but I do own Skyrim. And when I played Dragon's Dogma, the demo, I noticed instantly. First, I could tell by the trailer it was a different style of gameplay. And once I played the demo, I was hooked. The gameplay on Dragon's Dogma is light, it's real fast, it's fluent. It is way more action oriented than any other action RPG or open world RPG I've ever played. It really is. You can see that Japanese touch in it, especially with the Strider class. The way he dual wields those daggers. Just the kind of things when you jump on a giant enemy, climbing up him, slashing and cutting, and you can jump off, and in the midst of jumping off, slash down. And I believe Monster Hunter should have had gameplay like this. So like I said, you can grab the enemies, you can climb on the enemies. Right now I've only played as the Strider. I mean, not the Strider, but the Warrior. But do not worry, later on in the game, you can switch classes. You can. I thought that was cool. You can switch classes. At first I was concerned about fast traveling. It seemed like, it really felt like a real, true, complete adventure, because for a long time, I did not know how to fast travel. I really thought there was no way, so I did some research. Someone told me, yes, you can fast travel. You have to get a fairy stone. You know, there's these stones in the world of Dragon's Dogma called fairy stones, and you know, he told me that they run from 10,000 to 20,000 gold. Now, to me, money comes easy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Money comes easy because there are so many things out there you can find and harvest, just like Skyrim and Monster Hunter. Mushrooms, plants, fish, food, fruit, just damn near anything. Metals, you can mine on there. And the mining on there, I like it a lot better than I do on Monster Hunter. So anyway, you can't have access to fast travel until you get through a certain part of the main story. There's a part in the main story where there's this big abandoned fortress that the knights are trying to reoccupy again, and they're accompanied by, you know, the abandoned fortress is accompanied by these two Cyclopses and a group of orcs, and you know, I mean goblins. And I'm telling you, it was fun taking that out. It was fun. I know I got it back, and that's when he said, all right, relay the message back to, he named the castle, forget the name of the castle, I'm sorry. it was all the way on the whole other side of the map. And he said, here, take this stone. It will make your travels a lot faster. I said, oh, okay, that's cool. But upon that being like the most active quest I was on, the marker was already on my map. So when I used the fairy stone, it automatically took me to what was marked on the map. Thank God it was marked at that castle where I had to go. So I do not know if you just put a random mark on the map and you use the fairy stone, it's going to take you there. I don't know. Or I don't know what would happen if you would use it without having something marked. Then it would ask you where you want to go. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I only came across 2. And I used them on instances while I was in a quest. So I've yet to find another one. I swear I've been to shops. I only been to 2 towns. One small town and another, in the main big castle where I'm at right now. I haven't yet to explore the whole world map, obviously. But that's the thing with the fast travel. Let's see, you can change classes. I just went over fast travel, went over the type of enemies that I've came across so far. Oh yes, the dragon. I came across the dragon. Not the dragon in the beginning, but this dragon, I'm telling you, man, this dragon, he is, oh man, very difficult. I couldn't beat him. He had 8 life bars. Yes, the enemies can have multiple life bars. The Cyclopses, they can have armor. They really can. You can tear the armor off. But the way I have it set up, it's me, 2 other pawns that are mages, and I have another one. He's an assassin, and the other who I'm borrowing from somebody else, she's a warrior. So when you have 2 mages, that really helps out. They heal you on time. They enchant your weapons, and the dialogue and the intelligence of the pawns are very, very good in my opinion. You can never really get lost. They're always saying something. They're saying something. If a word bubble with a red question mark comes over their head, obviously you know to talk to them. That's what NPCs as well. You talk to them, they'll tell you where to go with the current quest. If you're lost, or they'll say, looks like the only option is to go up. Or, are you sure, master? We should go this way. Or how about this? Or if you run, keep in mind, if you run, your stamina meter depletes, and do not let it run out, because your character will automatically stop, lean over, and catch his breath. And you cannot attack, jump, anything. You can't get killed like that or lose a lot of HP if enemies are around you. You're stopping to catch your breath. If your stamina meter depletes and you're stopping, lean over, huffing and puffing, your NPC pawn will come over and lift you up and say, are you okay, master? You catch your second wind, stamina meter go back up a little bit, you're good to go. You can become overcumbered. You go from very light to average, heavy to overcumbered. It goes in that order. You can give items to your pawns. They have their own inventory, their own weight, everything. But it's not like Skyrim. If you become overcumbered, you still get your little sprint on. You won't walk. You still get your little sprint on. But if you run with all that stuff on you, your stamina meter depletes even more. You can combine items, yes, on the fly. And if you have food on you, it can become rotten, yes. And if you eat it, obviously you will get poisoned. Your fish can get rotten, your tomatoes can get rotten, your apples can get rotten, etc., etc. You can find materials to combine them. And when you go to shops of, okay, you can buy your swords, your helmets, your armor, your greaves, your shields, everything, and then you can enchant them. You can upgrade them. Yes, you can do that. As far as skills, I love the skill layout way better than Skyrim. And when I mean skill, as far as combat, because the gameplay to me is better than all these American-made open world medieval RPGs. Okay, when you go to purchase or go to learn these skills from these certain merchants, once you buy them, you apply them to the button layout of the controller. So if you buy 4 skills, you can apply the first skill to Y, apply the first skill to X, B, and A. But I know you're thinking, wait a minute, then how are you doing? What you do, you hold the right shoulder, or in PlayStation 3's case, R1. And when you hold that, at the bottom left, the other, you see the words over the letters change. Like how Y, default control, Y is for fear strike, X is for light strike, B is to interact and talk, A is to jump, clicking the analog to run, just like Call of Duty, R1 is to block, and left Left shoulder is to block. Right trigger is to grab. Now, I'm pretty sure L trigger does something, but I believe that's what bow and arrow, I don't know. So another thing is, when you hold the right shoulder, how wide normally, like I said, is for fierce attack. If you apply the 360 swing to Y, you hold R shoulder, and then at the top of Y it'll say, 360 swing. So that means you have your combos plus, to addition, you have all your different skill sets, and that's just with your right hand. Your left hand, your shield, since I'm a warrior, I can add other implements to that. Like I have perfect defense. I love perfect defense. I hold the L shoulder and hit B, and he gets down to this stance and he strains and he's shaking, he's getting ready. It will block anything. I've tested out so far, it blocks anything, and I do not lose no HP. You should check it out. It's called perfect defense. Also have shield bash and shield taunt. I think that's what I call a shield taunt. That's when he takes his shield and bah, bah, hits his sword on it. All the enemies looks at it. I love doing that because it gets their attention and it makes the battle look, a little bit more hype. Also, I have this one technique where it strengthens my defense. I have that gold war machine effect. If you don't know what that is, I'm one of them true gamers. I know what that means. Look it up. I call it the gold war machine effect. It's where he gets down and squats, he stands up and screams, and I'm glowing, and pretty much there's no hit impact with me. I can walk through, or I can still take life, but I'm not getting knocked back. I'm just walking through your attacks. But as far as my sword attacks, by default, you can acquire extended combos. But the only way to acquire these is not through gold. It's not through experience, believe it or not. It's through discipline points. Yes, discipline. You have to keep using these techniques because it shows that you're learning discipline. You keep using them in battle. So I have one, I do the 360 swing. Actually, at first it's just one way. And then he goes clockwise and then counterclockwise. He has another one, he just straight charges at you, like the stinger move, like Devil May Cry. Also, I have one where he does the uppercut. I love that one. But when you come across more techniques to buy, then obviously there's way more than 4 in the game. So you have to choose which one you want to put in the slots. So that can become the decision all on your own. Enemies will chase you only to a certain extent. You can't fall asleep. You can't get poisoned. You can't get blind. You can't get silenced. Yes, there are antidotes to cure these things. You can mix and match everything like I said. But the pawns, like I said, I love their AI, man. They're talkative. They heal you on time. The ghost, they can only be defeated by magic. So make sure if you're a mage, you're good, or make sure you have a mage pawn in your party. But that's but what I overall think about it, I did see some comments about how it was very similar. They were trying to jock off of Skyrim, but no, I see the similarities or the inspiration. And when you hit someone in town, when you attack someone, yes, you can go to jail. Yes, when you take out your sword and swing it around, people be like, damn, like, whoa, like, what the hell are you doing? It has a lot of the basics that you've come to know with a lot of action RPGs in the past. Sell items, trade items, enchant items, make your weapons. This is another thing you have to remember. Keep this in mind. There is no multiplayer, and a lot of people complain about that. One of my friends on my Xbox Live list, he has this. He asked me how I like it. I said I love it. He said, yeah, man, but there's no multiplayer. Last time I checked, how many RPGs have multiplayer? Yes, you have your small few. The Tales of series. The most I can think about that is when you're in battle, someone can pick up a controller and control another player. But that's kind of like running around and then you get into a battle. It's not on the spot fly action like an action RPG like Dragon's Dogma is, or Skyrim or Fable. So Skyrim was never multiplayer. To my knowledge, Fable, I never played Fable. To my knowledge, that's not multiplayer. Star Ocean was never multiplayer. I don't think Merrill was ever multiplayer. Valkyrie Profile was never multiplayer. So why is it people like, oh man, this is a multiplayer. I guess it gave the impression that it was multiplayer. People played the demo and they seen, you know, all these extra pawns running around with your main character. They got the impression that it was a multiplayer, but with it not being multiplayer, that's just the way it is. Oh well, that's fine with me. But this is the thing. The story so far is okay. You know, the dragon looks you're the chosen one. He takes your heart out. You know, you come back as an arisen. People are wondering, how are you coming back? How are you revived without your heart? But so far, they're trying to find his. They're trying to find the dragon. The dragon can't talk. It's in his own language. Eventually, you will understand the language he is talking. It goes further than what I'm saying. It's deeper than that. But like I said, I just got it Tuesday. These are my impressions so far. I did realize this for all the ones who were complaining about no multiplayer. It says right here, what can you do on Xbox Live? One of the things it says, and for all of you who have this game, this is on page 5 right here. It clearly states one of the things you can do: participate in events to defeat common enemies with other players online. That's what it says. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't, I apologize. But that's what it says. I don't know if that'll be downloadable content, like extra side quests that require 2 people. I don't know. But I'm hurry up and wrap this up. I don't know how long I'm going into this video. It's probably a while. But I have to give my overall thoughts about it. Yeah, but like I said, back to the comparison with Skyrim. You know, you have the broadsword, the single sword, the shields. You can go to jail. Oh, when you do go to jail, the only way I've gotten out was, I got out 2 kind of ways. Bribing the guard, yes. 20,000 gold, yes. Like I said, money comes easy for me. I have way over 100,000 gold. Bribing the guard, and I actually made a skeleton key. I can't remember the ingredients. I cannot remember, but I actually made a skeleton key and got out. However, I was searching for my things, ran into a guard. He still wanted me to bribe him for him to give me my things. You know, I thought that was messed up. But I'm gonna end it with this: do not try to grow accustomed to your pawns. Don't make it feel like, I mean, it's a lack of character personality in this game. There are other main characters. I just met 3 new characters in the main story. But as far as your party go, don't try to get attached, because your main pawn, like I said, you can customize him. Your other pawns, your other support pawns, they were already made and designed by Capcom, where you can get pawns from people who upload them on Xbox Live. So don't try to get to know them like on some Star Wars and stuff. How, you know, you got Claw, Rena, Diaz, and Leon, or Valkyrie profile. You got Lenneth, Harist, Gray, Argram. All, you know, they're just pawns. Like I said, they have no free will. They have no emotions. So when you get these group of pawns, don't be expecting to get to know these characters like you're getting into a new series or something. Don't do it. But they are helpful. But I like the game. Good control. Action packed. I love the fact the way you jump, the way you roll. Oh, and I thought this was crazy. If you get into the water, the pawns will let you know. Like, say if you get into a small puddle of water, or you do a roll in the water, you will get drenched and you'll become heavy. Like, the weight will increase. And I thought that was, I never seen that in the game before. I thought that was unique and real. So if you get splashed a lot or fall and catch yourself with a roll into some water, you know, you will be, like, you're running, it'll be slower, you're walking, it'll be slower. But Dragon's Dogma, I recommend it if you want a good long game. Expect downloadable content, weapons and armor that has been confirmed. I hope Strider puts items and weapons or clothes from their other characters, from their other titles, because I will dress up my character like Strider, believe that. So far I ran into 2 towns. I'm level 39. I'm not bored with it. I'm not stuck. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Like I said, I'm stuck on this. You know, stuck on this main story. I'm still waiting for the expansion pack, because that'll take my mind off of it. There's nothing else left for me to do in here. There's nothing else. Like I said, I'm in charge of everything. If I want to play, I can just keep doing these uploaded so-called missions and keep getting gold, or go around and kill everybody. But I'm stuck on the main quest because of the glitch. So until they fix the patch, I'm gonna put my time and effort in this when I want to experience some good old action RPG goodness. If I left something out, I apologize. Let me know in the comment section below and I will answer the question. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my impressions of it. Pick it up. I like it. It's not perfect, but it's very good. This is the Elite Ace. I'm signing out.